Wow, that was the fastest video I filmed. Wait, that was basically just like one full take. Hey guys, Fran here. I'm a pre-med student and technologist, and I'm really passionate about living well. I just finished my finals and I'm so happy because I finally get to go back to making these videos. A couple of years back, I learned about the concept of having a mental hygiene routine from one of my favorite YouTubers ever, Elizabeth Phillips. Ever since I learned about it, it's been so life-changing. Essentially, the idea is to find or develop an approach to challenges you encounter that is effective. To me, this means allowing myself to feel but also recognizing my agency even during challenging times. Over time, I've developed a system, the Mental Hygiene Board, which tried and tested works for me, and today I'll be sharing it. I'll put the video's timestamps over here and in the caption in case you want to jump to anywhere in the video. And with that, let's dive right in. I typically make these mental hygiene boards when I feel myself getting overwhelmed, whether I'm faced with a new challenge in life or it's just I accumulate a bunch of these different little things that start to bother me over time. When I make these mental hygiene boards, I have 3 main goals and a bonus. First is to solve overwhelm by sorting my mental clutter. 2 is to make positive mindset shifts. 3 is to create concrete or actionable steps. And the bonus is to strengthen my confidence in my ability to get through challenging times. I'll go more into the whys and hows of each later, but first, let's talk about why I make mental hygiene boards and don't just journal. On a personal level, I like making mental hygiene boards for a couple of reasons. First is that I find it to be flexible. I'm less concerned about the formatting and organization when I'm in the expression stage. However, it also have enough constraints that I'll be able to still approach these situations proactively without sort of ruminating too much. It also feels like I'm holding an important meeting or gathering with myself, as I would with loved ones or others. This helps me approach mental hygiene with, love and intention and a bit more purpose. Lastly, I've also tried different ways of dealing with overwhelm, including expressive and gratitude journaling. However, I've found that mental hygiene boards seem to be the most balanced when meeting all of my different needs. I think it targets everything from allowing me to feel and express things, acknowledging that perspectives hold power, recognizing that most things are actionable or not, and that's okay, and lastly, affirming that I can get through challenging times. That being said, let's get into exactly how I make these boards. The tool that I use is FigJam, and it's personally my favorite because it's simple, flexible, has the features I need, and is available on both my laptop and iPad. There are 4 main steps in making these mental hygiene boards that I've shortened to CMAR. First is I list down all the problems or concerns. When things are dealt with purely in your head, it can get overwhelming because of how much mental RAM and space you are allocating to these concerns. So the goal for this first step is to get things out of your brain and onto paper, because this will help reduce your mental load. I separate each concern via sticky note and usually use the same color code for these concerns. And in the main concern sticky notes, I try to keep it a bit brief, maybe 1 to 2 sentences, since we are trying to somewhat organize our thoughts. But when I feel it's necessary, I also add context in the sides using separate sticky notes. I like that this makes my train of thought and the relevant information a bit more clear. Second is the mindset shift. This next step is basically to write positive mindset shifts for each concern. I think that there is so much power in recognizing that the way you view a situation can influence how you deal with it. So for example, are you viewing this concern from a place of growth, or is it from a place of helplessness? For example, let's say you make a mistake at your new workplace. If your current mindset is, this is so embarrassing, my coworkers will probably think I'm incompetent, this is going to make bouncing back and growing difficult for you. However, we could reframe it to something like, I know I am capable of doing challenging tasks, including navigating new work environments, as I have done this before. This, unlike the original mindset, recognizes my capabilities, and this is why I think consciously making these positive mindset shifts is so important before jumping into doing the next thing. Third is the actionable steps. My mental hygiene boards place a strong emphasis on finding actionable or concrete steps or takeaways. So after providing context and applying a positive mindset shift to each concern, I list specific ways I can go about the concern. Most of the time, these actionable steps boil down to do X ASAP, wait for some time, and if the situation calls for it, do X, this is my action plan, or to simply leave it be. I honestly think that leaving things be is also a possible actionable step because it recognizes your lack of control in a situation. However, I think it is important to recognize that sometimes it's hard to find clear ways to go about a situation, and that's okay. The seed is planted, and that's what matters. Lastly is this fourth step, which is more of a bonus, but it's something I find rather endearing and honestly very helpful for your long-term well-being, which is to revisit these concerns later on and talk about how each thing turned out. So what I do in the mental hygiene board is I just add another sticky note beside the concern, add a little connection, and then talk about how things turned out along with a date I did the revisiting. Most of the time when I revisit my past concerns, I just see how things really did work out in the end, no matter how difficult or impossible things may have seemed at the time of writing. I love doing this because it affirms that yes, I am capable of getting through challenges, through tough times. I think that continuously recognizing your capacity to do this will help build confidence. And when we build confidence in our ability to get through challenging things, it just creates this positive feedback loop. That's basically everything I do to make these mental hygiene boards. If another time of feeling overwhelm occurs, I usually just make a separate fig jam board to keep things organized. But I hope this helps and that you get to try making one. Let me know if there's anything you guys would like to hear from me. I feel like okay, you know what? I am going to speak this into the universe. I'm going to try to post more videos this term break because I like making them and they're fun and I get to talk about the things that I am passionate about. If you guys don't know, I've been a Sanrio girl since I was a kid. But anyways, thank you for watching and see you soon. Bye! Wow, that was the fastest video I filmed. Wait, that was basically just like one full take. Okay, the first 3 takes did not count because I stopped at around the introduction. But yeah!